Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine. I hope you're all having fun, and I hope you're all having a great season. I hope you had a great double game week 25, especially for those who are playing assistant manager chip. Those who went with somebody like Unai Emery had a really good one. Those who went with slot obviously had a decent one as well. So all in all, it was a good scoring game week for those who were on any kind of chip. Maybe if you had triple captain Salah, it was still good. It was all in all a good game week of FPL. I got 100 points. I mean, nothing to boast about, but it was all right. I had Cody Gakpo, did not play. So in comes Joe Pedro for Cody Gakpo. That was a bit of a spanner in the works, but that's alright, I guess. So this was about my Game Week 25 squad, guys. Nothing much to kind of talk about in here. So I brought in Trossard, who didn't actually do really well, in the game, but he ended up getting an assist for the Merino goal, so that's something. So yeah, that's all about my last game week, and moving on to this. Hey CAV, hey Smelly Web, welcome to stream, guys. CAV says, hey Wiz, shame that I didn't go for Watkins, but still did okay considering a few injuries across my team. Well, to be honest with you, mate, I personally at the start of the game week, actually, I also didn't want to go with Watkins, and I had my own reasons for that. Which I discussed on the stream, because I felt that Aston Villa have got too many games coming up in the next like 14 days, but I guess Unai Emery just just taking them as they come, not too concerned, and he's kind of boosted his attacking arsenal with Donnell Mallon and Rashford and all those guys, Asensio. So I think. I didn't expect Ollie Watkins to get that much game time, but it is what it is, mate. And even without Watkins, I mean, we selected Emery as the assistant manager, so in the end, whatever Watkins did, it actually helped us, right? So that was about the last game week. This game week, I obviously have a bit of a problem in my team, as in I've got Cody Gakpo, who we don't know is going to be fit, although Slot said he's not far away, but I'm not sure if he's going to play this game week as well. Hey Light Rays, hey Tirumalesh, Abhishek, Testimony, Todd, welcome to the stream, guys. I hope you're doing well. Lighter says, hey Wiz, hey mate, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. Thirumale says, Wiz, any plan of changing the assistant manager? I do plan to change my assistant manager, although I would have loved to keep Unai Emery against Chelsea if it was a table bonus game. But unfortunately for Chelsea, they lost the game against Brighton, and it is no longer kind of a table bonus game, and they've lost their way in the last 4 or 5 games, Chelsea, and it would have been a great opportunity to kind of play a team as good as Aston Villa against a not so good Chelsea team for the table bonus points. But unfortunately, there's just 2 places between them, so no table bonus. So therefore, I do plan to change my assistant manager. And I've considered basically 3 managers, really. Obviously, if you're talking about the safe pick, you just go for like an Arteta against West Ham United. So that's like the safe pick to go for, right? If you're not looking for the table bonus, you're just looking to play safe, like 6, 7, 8 points, I think Arteta can be picked in this game. But if you look on the other side, if you're looking for this positive impact on your rank and you want this table bonus, then you have to kind of think about managers like Glasner, Graham Potter and the Ipswich manager as well. So these are the three which you want to look at if you're looking for table bonus. And out of these three, my top pick would be Glasner. My second highest pick would be Graham Potter, and then on third it would be the Ipswich manager. I would have loved if Emery obviously would have had a table bonus game, but that's not happening anymore. So why I say Glasner is because recently there's been an uptick in form of Crystal Palace, especially against the bigger teams. When they played tough away games, they're doing well. Secondly, Eze is coming back, right? So that gives like Crystal Palace a boost, and they also that gives the ability to kind of take the game to Fulham a little bit, right? So I think it's a good opportunity, even if it does not give me too many points. See, guys, when we're going for assistant manager in the third week, right? So I've already got 36 points with David Moyes and Unai Emery in the assistant manager chip. Now I'm going for a third week, right? And you want to go with the high probability, right? So in this case, Crystal Palace wins the game, I get lots of points. Crystal Palace draws the game, I still get similar kind of points which I would get from another manager like Arteta winning the game, right? So the only way I don't get points is if Crystal Palace loses the game, right? So I'm willing to take that chance. Two options out of three are in my favor, and one option is not in my favor. So at least I'm willing to take a chance with Glasner there, and I don't think it's out of the question that Crystal Palace can take something there. So that's just my summary. Juggernaut says, hi Wiz, why not Wolves for a table bonus? Bournemouth are in really good form, Jugs. I don't want to go against. Yes, Wolves played fine against Liverpool, right? But Liverpool were kind of in a bit of a pressure at that time, especially after drawing to Everton. And Bournemouth, I feel they're kind of currently playing without any pressure. And you can take a punt on Wolves if you want to. Personally, I'm not feeling confident of taking a punt against teams like Bournemouth right now, who don't have much to lose right now, just have everything to gain, are currently so high up in the table. I'd say you can put Wolves on third alongside Ipswich. So I'd say my first option would be Glasner, my second would be Potter, and then my third would be obviously the Wolves manager or the Ipswich manager. So that would be how I would kind of categorize it. These are only managers with the table bonus. If anybody wants to go with the safer kind of picks, then I think Arteta is the one you have to look at for this week. Obviously, because Pep has Liverpool, and I would have even loved if Manchester City would have had a table bonus game against Liverpool, but unfortunately City won, and they don't have any table bonus game anymore. But if City would have been on 6th or similar, I would have loved to have Pep Guardiola. Hammers could beat Gunners, you reckon? I never know, man. We've always kind of struggled against West Ham in these kind of games where we need to take something from them. You remember, was it last season? We kind of struggled against West Ham at home, and I think we drew against them. Jared Bowen scored the goal, and we couldn't get a goal. It was a bit of a struggle, and I'm not saying that we're gonna lose to us, like West Ham or anything like that. But when we are playing for the table bonus, even a draw counts for a lot. As you could see with Emery and Liverpool, even a draw could give you lots of points. And if the Emery chip would have played properly, if if Emery would have gone right, he would have beaten Ipswich and drawn against Liverpool. The points would have been even much better. It would have been like 21, 22 points, right? I remember that defeat cost the title for Arsenal. Now, that was the defeat against Aston Villa, Jugs. I mean, that was the one in which Aston Villa beat us 2-0. But even against West Ham United, we drew at home. And I remember the season before that, when Arsenal was very close to winning the title, Saka missed a penalty against West Ham United. And, we had this history of generally beating West Ham United when the going is not tough, but they always give us a tough game for some reason. Not saying that there's a chance. I feel that our Arsenal should win this game. But since we're looking at bargain basements for a table bonus, that is the only reason I'm taking Graham Potter's name. Otherwise, I think Glasner is my first choice, and I think I personally would go with Glasner over the Wolves manager, the Ipswich manager, or even Graham Potter. CAB says, because of the injuries, I'm going to offload Gakpo plus Ahmad to either Mateta plus Dango or Cunha plus Mbumo. I prefer Cunha plus Mbumo, mate. There's no competition between them. I'd say go with Cunha plus Mbumo, mate. Tirumalesh says, yeah, we all understand that. James Moriarty says, hey, his thoughts on Joe or Pedro to Wissa -4 with Watkins and Isak. I like that move, James. I think this week you're taking a hit for somebody like a Wissa who plays against Leicester. I guess it's not a bad move to make because Joao Pedro is not even starting games, mate. And Wissa also plays in 29. Playing 90 minutes in every game. I think it's a good time to take a punt on Wissa, mate. Jug says, I think Hammers won't get much against Arsenal, especially at the Emirates. I hope so, mate. I really hope so. Humayun says, start Dean, Colville, or transfer one of them for someone playing in 29 like Hodgson. Personally, mate, I think I'd start Dean over Colville in this game. I think Aston Villa has a better chance of beating Chelsea than Chelsea have of beating Aston Villa, mate. I'd start Dean in this game. Somebody playing in 29? I personally don't think so. That Hodgson might concede in this game. I mean, Wolves are in decent-ish form, right? So, I personally, I would simply just start Dean in this one, mate. So Salmon Lee says, bench 1, Trent versus Rogers versus Robinson. Trent versus Rogers versus Robinson. Mate, I'd bench Robinson in this one. I'd play Trent and Rogers. I mean, if you don't want to play Trent, that is totally up to you. But personally, if you own an asset of 7.2 million worth, I would simply play him in this game, mate. You never know. He scored a goal last week. He's confident. He's angry as well at getting subbed off. Liverpool need something from the City game now because of the 2 draws that they have had against Aston Villa and Everton. I'd play Trent and I'd definitely play Rogers because I personally have a feeling that Aston Villa gonna do well against Chelsea, mate. So I'd say Rogers and Trent. Although, I mean, Robinson obviously second highest assists. I mean, is doing really well. But personally, out of the 3, I feel that, you have to kind of go with Trent and Rogers. Clivert captain says FPL Mantum. I mean, Clivert is a decent shout for captaincy. I mean, this week when you don't have a clear captain, the spread is going to be a little bit wide for captaincies. And yes, if you want to take a chance, I guess Clivert is not a bad shout, for sure. The only problem with Clivert is if he doesn't do well, he tends to get subbed off in the in the 70-ish odd minutes sometimes. That's the only thing. Otherwise, he's on penalties and everything else just sits for him. So yeah, not a bad shout, Mandem. Not this week. I guess it's not a bad shout at all. Neil says, hey Wiz, I want to roll my transfer and bench Gakpo. Do I play Robinson or Elanga? Keeping my assistant manager on Emery. If you're keeping your assistant manager on Emery, bench Gakpo, huh? Why don't you simply transfer Gakpo out, mate? Do you play Robinson or Elanga? I mean, out of these two, I'd play Robinson. You know, I think it's going to be a tough match for Nottingham, especially after they lost against Fulham and Newcastle lost against City. Newcastle would want to come back to winning ways. So I'd play Robinson just in this one. Gakpo, I think you can transfer him out if you want to. I think you never know what's going to happen with Gakpo now, you know. So at the back of my mind, even I'm thinking I should take a hit and just take him out now when I could, especially for somebody like a Wissa or a Cunha. I think it's time. We can't keep Deadwood in our team right now, especially if you're dead-ending your team or kind of planning for wildcard 30 and you want to set a team which plays in 29. So Neil, I'd say if you want, you can transfer Gakpo out. I don't think you need to keep him on the bench, mate. Start Castagna or Van Hecke. Castagna or Van Hecke. I mean, Southampton away or Crystal Palace at home. Difficult one, mate. Kept 5 clean sheets all season. I mean, I guess you could take a chance and start Van Hecke, I guess. Against Southampton, you can take a chance, you know. I don't think there's going to be much between them, but I'd say you can take a chance because I expect Crystal Palace to score against Fulham, but, you know, maybe Brighton can keep out, if Brighton can keep out Chelsea, I mean, hopefully they can keep out Southampton as well. So Van Hecke, in my opinion. Success says transfer out Gakpo for Wood, Wissa, Cunha or Mateta. Mate, I mean, it depends on what you're looking at. I mean, technically, if you're looking to, you know, just to wildcard in Game Week 30 or Game Week 31, I personally think Wood does not make any sense because look at the games, mate. I mean, you know, Newcastle, Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United at home, like very tough games. So if you're looking to wildcard in 30, I don't think Chris would makes any option for you, mate. I would go for Wissa, Cunha, even Mateta. If you're looking for Game Week 29, Mateta should not make your team as well. So Wissa or Cunha, mate. You have to go with like Wissa or Cunha. I actually have the funds to do Ndiaye instead of Gakpo. What do you think of, or just getting rid of Gakpo? CAV, I'm personally thinking of simply getting rid of Gakpo, mate. You know, because right now is not the time to be carrying Deadwood, especially if you're building towards Game Week 29. And for example, if you want to go for somebody like a Wissa, you know, Wissa is playing against Leicester. You know, he might have a chance to kind of do well against Leicester. So why not take a chance and just take out Gakpo, who's not going to play at all, and still, you know. So in my personal opinion, Ndiaye is not playing, Gakpo is not playing. You should kind of you need a playing striker, mate. And I think when you transfer Gakpo out, you'll get the funds that you need. Other than with Ndiaye, you'll actually have to use some funds. So I'd say Gakpo first and Ndiaye later. Juggernaut says I'm taking a hit for slot to Glasner and Rogers to Dango viable. Jugs, to be honest with you, I personally don't think doing Rogers to Dango this game week is important. I think give Rogers this game against Chelsea, and even Bournemouth doesn't have an easy game against Wolves, you know. So I think taking a hit for this is not required. Simply play Rogers, and if you want to do slot to Glasner, then you can do it. But I personally don't think that Rogers to Dango this week is required, mate. So no hit required. Sorry, defender question again. Start 3 defenders. No worries, Simon Lee. I'm here to answer your questions. Timber, Trent, Hall, Robinson, Kirkash. I would go with Timber, definitely. Hall against Robinson against Palace. You have pretty good defense, mate. Starting 3 is gonna be a bit tough. I'd say Timber, Trent, And Kirkash, I guess. Timber, Trent, and Kirkash. Kirkash, I'm saying because of the attacking threat, maybe, maybe Bournemouth can keep a clean sheet. You never know. At home, they've been good this season. Trent, obviously, because of the attacking threat, and especially if you own Trent, you just have to play him. You never know what happens. A free kick, corner, you know. Timber obviously has the best fixture of all your defenders, so yeah. I'd say Timber, Trent, and +1. I'd possibly go with Kirkash. Azara says he was need your advice. Yes, you please. Yeah, there's a question. Missed the last game week deadline. Have 2 free transfers, 0.8 in the bank. Pickford, Fabianski, Greaves, Robinson, Trent, Colwell, Gabriel, Semenyo, Rogers, Palmer, Salah, Kluivert, Isak, Beto, and India. So you've got 2 Everton. Slot, AM. Well, you've got 2 free transfers. I'd say you have 0.8 in the bank, right? So how much is and 5.5? So you can't go from India to Visa, right? You can't go from Beto to anyone either. So I guess you just have to play Beto and bench India. Beyond that, Colville. I mean, you've got Semenyo. Rogers is fine. Palmer, Salah, Kluivert. So I mean, your midfield is sorted. Strikers, obviously, you can't do much right now because you don't have the money. I mean, if you move from Slot to Glasner, you'll have, you'll have 0.9 more. I mean, 0.9, 0.7 more. So 1.5 million. So you could go with Visa. So if you do India to Visa, I mean that's fine. I think you should go India to Visa, Zara. India to Visa you can go India to Visa if you want. India to Cunha or India to Visa would be my opinion in this case. And Slot to Glasner. Neil says Gakpo to Cunha will be best for my team, not going to free hit 29. Yeah, I mean Gakpo to Cunha or Gakpo to Visa both works for 29, mate. Obviously in 29 they have Southampton, so Cunha will be better, but overall I mean they're both good options in my opinion. Best India replacement 6.2 in the bank. At 6.2 there's not many people available, mate. Obviously Raul Jimenez is there, but I just don't like to recommend him as of now. Unless you can go up to Visa, then I guess you just have to go down to somebody like a Beto, mate. Especially if you're wildcarding in game week 30 or game week 31, then you can get somebody like a Beto and hope for the best, because there's not many options in this price range, to be honest with you, Thakif. Zara says I can do India. Yeah, honestly, that's Subhajit says Captain Salah, Kluivert, Cunha, Isak, or Palmer. Out of these, I'd possibly think about. I mean, Isak just did not give me the confidence against Manchester City. Otherwise, I mean, against Nottingham Forest at home, you'd back Isak to score some points, right? Tempted by risking RVN. Ruud van Nistelrooy against Brentford. I mean, they did well against Arsenal, to be honest with you, but Arsenal didn't have a striker. Brentford, on the other hand, I feel they'll put a few past Leicester, mate. Personally, I wouldn't go there, but if you're feeling like it, your instinct, then definitely you can do that. Out of this, I'd say Captain Salah. I don't think that it's going to be a 0-0 kind of a game between Liverpool and City. And if anybody would score for Liverpool, it has to be Salah. Is the most form player in the world right now, let alone the league. So, yeah. I'd say keep it simple and Captain Salah, mate. Bruno and Slot to Mbumo and Glasner for a -4. Bruno. Unfortunately, Bruno's team is not supporting him in this season. They're just not doing well. Uh, Mate, I mean Bruno and you can simply do Bruno to Mbumo, slot to Glasner for a -4. I'm not so sure. Just, I think -4. Not so sure, mate. Simply do Bruno to Mbumo, and keep Arna slot, mate. I'm just, because I don't think it needs a -4, mate. It's just I mean, Bruno is a playing player, right? For somebody like me who has Gakpo and Joao Pedro, I'm taking a -4 hit. It makes more sense, but taking a hit for Bruno, I'm not so sure, mate. I mean, it is possible if you want to do it, but I mean, I think Bruno to Mbumo makes more sense to me as compared to both the moves. But if you're feeling it, you can do it. I'm not saying it's not possible. I think it does make sense, yes. It's the only thing is a -4 is the issue for me. Otherwise, the moves are fine, mate. Todd says, will you free hit in 29? Trying to get through 29 with a free. Todd, possibly, I don't think I'm going to free hit in 29 because you see, I've got Pickford, I've got Robinson, I've got Mikalenko, I've got Colville, I've got Gabriel, Trossard, Dango, Palmer. I've got lots of players who are playing in 29. So, and I'm going to kind of build my team more towards 29 as we go. So I don't think I'm gonna need to free hit in 29, mate. I'm just gonna free roll that. Wissa or Cunha? See, this is a difficult question, Thaqif. This is a question which is right now on my mind as well. I mean, technically, Cunha has been a better value for money this season, no doubt. He went berserk. Remember at that point in the season when everybody was kind of discussing he's gonna get banned and this and that, and he just kept on scoring goal after goal after goal. It was crazy. I mean, 12 goals and 4 assists for Cunha, and 10 goals and 3 for Wissa. Issue is Cunha has better fixtures in 28 and 29, and Vissa's gotten alrightish kind of fixtures as well. Personally, it feels kind of just 50-50 in this Cunha versus Vissa one. Absolutely 50-50 kind of decision. There's nothing much to separate them based on the fixtures and everything else. But if you're making the move in this game week, I mean, possibly you can do Vissa, because Vissa's got the better fixture, this game week. So if you're taking a hit or if you're bringing Vissa in this game week, I feel it makes more sense in my opinion. Tough question, Thaqif. Very tough. By the way, Vissa and Cunha, who will be the better forward from 26 to 29? Well, you know what, guys? This question has been asked too much, and since we're lucky enough to get our streams sponsored by Fantasy Football Fix, let's just look at the projections, guys. Why do we need to predict when we've got AI doing all the work for us, anyways? So 26 to 29, right, Neil? So first of all, thank you so much to Fantasy Football Fix for sponsoring our streams and letting us use the website. No excluding game weeks. Let's see. Projected points: Palmer 28, Salah, Mbumo 21. So that tells you something about the fixtures. Wissa is 19.8, right? And Cunha is 18.4. Essentially, there's nothing much to separate them, mate. The only thing is, Cunha has, I think Vista has got a more concentrated spread here because of the Leicester game. Mate, it's difficult to kind of call between Cunha and Vista. I mean, even the goddamn software is not being able to call it. Uncertainty with Vista is 35%, with Cunha is 38%. I mean, personally, if you ask me, mate, I'd personally go with Vista right now. I just feel that against Leicester, when you're transferring in a player, I mean, Cunha against Bournemouth and Vista against Leicester, I think it just makes more sense to have a bird in your hand rather than two in the bush. So if you ask me, I'd just simply personally go with Vista, mate. Juggernaut says late riser is giving him armband to Vissa. Well, he's the late riser, mate. He sometimes makes these moves right at the end of the season, and they actually do work for him. Which is why actually I think he's called late riser. He always kind of does well, he says, in the second half of the season as compared to the first. So personally, I also feel that Vissa is kind of the better option based on the fixture in which we're getting him in for. Any news on Gakpo? Arne Slot said Gakpo was close, but I just don't feel that he's gonna play against City. And even if he does play, I think it's a very difficult game, mate. Watanezia says, hello mate, what is your plan? I'm planning to take a hit, Watanezia. Emery or Marco Silva for assistant manager? I mean, neither of the two have got for the table bonus game between Emery and Marco Silva. So if you're already holding Emery and you can keep on holding on to Emery, I would not transfer Emery out for Marco Silva, if that's what you mean, Thakif, because I feel that Emery against Chelsea is not a bad fixture at all, especially looking at the form of Chelsea. And wasting your transfer, moving sideways from Emery to Marco Silva, personally doesn't make sense to me. I mean, if you're moving from Emery to Glasner, yes, it makes sense, because Glasner gives you the table bonus option, at least if you're going for him, right? And they give you the confidence as well, because they went away to Old Trafford, they went away to some other places, difficult places, and they got some points. Did Crystal Palace. Hang on, I'll just show you here. So if you look at just a second. If you look at these fixtures, right? They went away to Old Trafford. They won the game. They went away to West Ham. They won the game. They went away to Leicester. They won the game. Chelsea at home. They drew the game. Bournemouth away, which is a very difficult fixture. They drew the game. Manchester City drew the game. Brighton away. I mean, their away form has been really good, although their home form has been absolutely not good. Everton won the game late. Brentford did win the game as well. But you look at their away form: United away, West Ham away, Leicester away, Bournemouth away, Brighton away. They've been doing all right away from home with Glasner. So at least you have to take a chance with the table bonus, because it's too much. Like, if they draw, you still get the same points as you would get for somebody like an Arteta, or similar points that you would get to Arteta. Just in case they win the game, it's just a lottery. And yes, if they lose the game, you don't get anything, but that's what you're playing for, right? You're taking a chance, you're just playing it. And if you've gone with like somebody like me who's got David Moyes and then went with Emery, you've already got 36 points from your assistant manager Chip, and you want to take a chance, mate. So Domji says, would you play Robinson or Hodgson? I'd play Hodgson, mate. Smelly Web says they can't replace you with AI Viz. I'm glad you think that, Smelly Web. I'm so glad. Milo Taft says, good evening, Viz. I'm on my last week with the assistant managership on slot. Would you swing the bat with Potter? Arsenal have 4 of their attack missing. Personally, Milo Taft, I've had a long kind of discussion at the start of the stream about the assistant managers, and long story short, I feel that if you're going with the table bonus manager, then Glasner is the better option as compared to Graham Potter. Who to bench? Kirkash, Robinson, Munoz for Cunha. I would bench one out of Munoz plays against Robinson, right? Why do I have to answer all the difficult questions, guys? This is not fair. Prakash, Robinson, Munoz for Cunha. Mate, I think I'd play Kirkash. I'd bench one out of Robinson or Munoz. Maybe Munoz. It depends how much potential in attack do you think Munoz has. That's the thing. It's a very difficult one. Maybe I'd play Kirkash and then I'd bench one out of Robinson and Cunha. Maybe Munoz, mate. Maybe Munoz. Juggernaut says I made my move slot to Glasner. Hope for the best, Jugs. I hope for the best. Cunha or Vissa for India? Do you have stats for Cunha versus Vissa? I already just showed the stats between them, and even the software doesn't choose much between them, Shopnan. So if you're looking until game week 29 and you're looking to bring in a striker this week, I feel that Vissa is not a bad option, mate. Although they're both equal, the software seems to think they're both going to get similar points. So even though we're doing a lot of discussion on them, I feel that in the end they're going to end up scoring similar points. They both got similar ceilings. I feel that Cunha's got a higher ceiling than Vissa, but overall I think they're going to end up scoring similar points, so it's not much to choose between them, mate. Hold Ismail Assar or get Kluivert Semenyo for him. If I was you, I'd sell Ismail Assar and get Kluivert or Semenyo for him, mate. Giovanni says hi, is Emery to Arteta or Glasner for a hit? Well, Giovanni, personally, I think Arteta is not a bad shout at all. If you simply want to play the safe kind of option, you want to take the safe option of going with 7 points. But Glasner will get the same points even if he drew the game against Fulham. So I want to take a chance at Glasner, mate, and have the option to get like 10-12 points, maybe more, especially if a table bonus kicks in. I mean, it can be really a good assistant managership to have played. So I'm gonna take a chance with Glasner, mate. Got to drop slot to fund Vissa 1.4. Who's the best Wiz? Thakif, 1.4, right? Obviously, if you can't own slot, then you can't own Arteta as well. They're both the same. David Moyes, home to Manchester United. No. No. Hursler against Fabian Hursler against Southampton could be good, to be honest with you, mate. At 1.1, not a bad shout in my opinion, mate. But if you want to go for the table bonus, I already discussed that in my opinion. Even Thomas Frank could be a good one if you're not looking for the table bonus. I think Thomas Frank against Leicester could be a decent shout as well. It's a bit of a difficult one, mate. Got to drop slot. Yeah, I already answered that. So Jug says, who's your captain? My captain is gonna be Salah, mate. What to do with Enzo Fernandez? Shall I move him on for Dango for -4? You don't. If Enzo is on your bench, then you don't need to move him on for Dango. If he's in your playing 11, then you can think about moving him on, mate. Although I don't think that this is the week to move. This is not the week to take a hit if you don't have somebody. I might take a hit because Gakpo I know is not gonna play, and even if he plays, it's against Manchester City. With somebody like an Enzo Fernandez, if you feel he's playing and if he's on your bench, then there's no point in taking a hit. Right? You want to build towards 29. There's still 3 weeks to go, mate. So I feel that unless you're replacing a playing player with somebody who's got lots of potential. Otaro Dango, yes, he scored a hat-trick, but I think his ceiling is not that high in every game he plays. I think one goal maybe, that's the best we can expect from him. So Colwell, Greaves and Ndiaye are on my bench. Oh. Why not move on India, mate? At least Enzo is playing, right? Emery or Hurstler Viz? Oh, man. It's a difficult question. Hurstler is not a bad shout, Thakif, to be honest with you. I mean, if you're going for a table bonus, then I'd go with Glasner, but Surefire, I mean, the thing is, I don't like to play this away game as a surefire win game. That's the problem. Because Thomas Frank is also away from home, Hurstler is also away from home. The one which is at home is obviously David Moyes, Marco Silva, Areola, but they've got tough games, all of them. Bournemouth versus Wolves is not an as easy game as everybody seems to think. McKenna, no. How again, 1.5, you don't have the money for him. Jurek, no chance. Potter, yes, against Arsenal, but I don't know. I was thinking on moving India for Cunha when I get my AM fund. That's the best, mate. I think that would be a great move to make. So I'd do similar, but with Joao Pedro. I'd move him on for Cunha, mate. By the way, how much time is left? I think we've got 16 minutes to go, right? Just a second, guys. I should not be only giving advice. I mean, I can go with Cunha this week as well. It doesn't make a difference, to be honest with you. But 2.1 in the bank. I mean, I can get anybody who I want to, except Watkins, I guess. I mean, I just want to take a chance with Bissa. Leicester game, not a bad shout at all. So therefore I'm forced to play Enzo. I get your point, Jugs. One free transfer, Gakpo to Wissa. All the best Wiz for the game week. Thanks for all the information on that. You're most welcome, mate, and good luck to you as well. Yeah, you're forced to play Enzo, right? That doesn't sit well with me. You should never be. Nobody should be forced to play Enzo. The -4 is just not sitting well with me for Otaro Dango, man. That's the problem. Is Evan Nilsson is gonna be back soon. So is Otaro Dango even gonna play as a striker? I'm not so sure. So if it was a hit for somebody like a Justin Kluivert, I'd say yes. But Otaro Dango, I'm not so sure, Jugs. I'm just not sure, mate. I can't bring myself to say yes. So that's my problem, mate. Mr. Blanky says, hey mate, I've got one free transfer. Do I bring in Dango for Ahmad or wait until the next game week? I have Rodgers to play versus Chelsea. I'd play Rodgers, mate. I'd play I mean, you can get Dango if you want to, but I think it's not important to get him this game week. So you can play Rodgers against Chelsea for sure. Even if I'd find a way to play Rodgers against Chelsea. He played really well against Liverpool as well. He was really unlucky at the end. His shot he just blasted it wide. But I'd play him, mate. Hey FPL Sam, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well, mate. I hope you're doing well. So Gakpo to Wissa and Emery to Glasner. -4. I mean, I could keep Emery. I have a feeling that they're gonna beat Chelsea, mate. The only problem is they don't have a table bonus. I might be stuck with Slot. I don't know what to do. Glasner and Roos van Nistelrooy are my main options. If I get Kluivert, I'll have to move on to Rodgers and not Enzo for fun's sake. Don't take out Rodgers, mate. Rodgers is a season keeper. Don't take him out. Jugs, I mean, if you want, I mean, the -4 is just not sitting right with me. That's the problem. But your bench isn't the best either, so. Your bench isn't the best either. If you want, you can do it, Jugs, but I'm just, because Enzo's gonna get like 2-3 points, whatever he's gonna get. So you wanna have Otaro Dango score at least one goal just to kind of cover the hit for the points which Enzo's gonna get anyway. So you consider that and then tell me what you wanna do. If I get I might be stuck with Slot. I don't know. Glasner and Rootman is still our main options. FPL Sam, I mean, Slot is fine if you want to go with Slot. You know, with Glasner, you're just getting this table bonus opportunity, and that's the only thing that there is. Nothing much to it, mate. You know, you can keep Slot as well. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad option against Manchester City. You can still, you know, Liverpool have to get something from that game. The problem is if they get a draw, Slot doesn't get too many assistant manager points is the issue. Otherwise, keeping Slot is not a problem, mate. I could hold all 3 Chelsea for Southampton and Leicester. Well, that's what I'm saying, Jugs. You know, I mean, I'm not feeling Otaro Dango -4. It's just not feeling it, mate. Cap Salah or Mbumo, Isak or Kluivert. Devendra, to be honest with you, out of these, I personally would not captain Kluivert against Wolves. I just wouldn't do it. Isak, if he possibly had scored against Manchester City, I would think about captaining him. But you know, coming back after the 4-0 thrashing, I'm not so sure how much confident Newcastle are gonna be. Mbumo, yes, if you want to, you could captain Mbumo or Salah. I mean, personally, I would stay away from Isak and Kluivert. I still have Gakpo, says Marco. Do you think holding him for the next 2 and playing Rodgers is better? Or do you think bringing in Wissa or Cunha is better? I already have Mbumo. You could keep him, mate, if you want to. I mean, if you already have Mbumo and you have Rodgers coming off the bench for Gakpo, I don't think you need to kind of hurry and take him out. I think you can keep him. Juggernaut says done, no hits this game week at least. I think that's fine, Jug. I think that's the right decision, mate. I just couldn't bring myself to say you know, tell you to kind of. My only question is, do I do Glasner or keep Emery? If I see what is the possibility of Chelsea losing to Aston Villa, I think Aston Villa have a very good chance of beating them. So even if I keep Emery, I'll get those 6-7 points. And with Glasner, I've got the opportunity to get maybe, you know, a table bonus of 10 points if they win. Win by 1 goal, 17 points. Hi Wiz, how about Mbumo captain? I think Mbumo is Emery to Glasner for a hit, Giovan says. Giovan, the thing is, it's not black and white. That's the reason I've been considering it all the time. I mean, if it was for a free, I'd say it would be right. It would be the right move. You know, for a hit, I'm just not feeling it. You know, that's the thing. I'm been considering at the back of my mind all my stream as well, whether I want to kind of how much points for a draw in a table bonus game. Five extra points. 5 points for a draw for a table bonus game, and 10 points for a win in a table bonus. Also have a free transfer. Should I retain, Slot, or change? If you got a free transfer, you should change, mate. If you got a transfer to spare, I think you can change. You should kind of take a bit of a chance in that case, you know. Maybe go for Glasner, or, you know, whichever manager you feel has the better option out of the Ipswich game, or the Wolves game, or the Leicester game, or the Crystal Palace game. You know, you have to kind of think about that. Whew, everybody's bringing in Glasner. Also have Emery. Yeah, that's Marco. That's the problem. You know, it's not their away form is really good, Crystal Palace, and that's why everybody is bringing in Glasner. They beat Manchester United away. They beat Brighton away. They've done well against a lot of good teams away from home, and that is why everybody's kind of bringing in Glasner, and that's why I wanted to bring in Glasner as well, but I've got this big problem in the shape of Gakpo in my team. Gakpo doesn't play. See, if I want to convince myself, I'd say the hit is for Gakpo and not for Glasner. You know, but that's just playing around with numbers. It's just like somebody, you know, trying to con you and playing with the balance sheet just to show you that the company doesn't have debt because it has a lot of inventories. But I mean, to be honest with you, it's just playing around with the. Say I play Greaves against Spurs at home and bench Enzo. No, mate. I wouldn't do that personally. I would play Enzo. You know, you never know. Enzo's got good chances recently. Ben bench Nico Williams or Dean? I'd bench Nico Williams and play Dean, Todd. I feel that Newcastle at home are gonna be better, and I feel that Aston Villa has a chance to beat Chelsea again. Will they keep a clean sheet? I'm not so sure, but Chelsea don't have strikers, or they didn't look like scoring against Brighton at all. So you can take a chance with Dean, mate. Who are you taking in place of Gakpo, Marmoush or Cunha? I'm not taking Marmoush or Cunha, mate. I've been considering Marmoush, but I'm taking Wissa for now, mate. Todd says thanks, you're welcome, mate. Marmoush I might take in place of Joao Pedro, mate. I really like Cunha. The problem is he plays against Bournemouth this week. Hit for Glasner. It's just not sitting right with me. The problem is I've got Joao Pedro, so I have to replace Gakpo. Otherwise, my transfer was simply planned. The transfer plan was always to move from Emery to a table bonus manager, but this problem in the shape of Gakpo, that is Haaland is potentially injured, and that's not good news for Marmoush, to be honest with you. If anybody thinks that Haaland being injured is good news for Marmoush, you're mistaken, guys. It's you need a striker like Haaland in front of Marmoush to give him the space to hold the ball up for him. It's not good for Marmoush. That's it. You've got to take the plunge. I have to take the plunge. I can't not do this. I have to do it. That's it, guys. I've taken a hit. In my mind, I've convinced myself that the hit was for Gakpo and it wasn't for Rodgers to Nwaneri or Gakpo to Cunha. I'd say Gakpo to Cunha. Rodgers, in my personal opinion, is a season keeper. Thanks for the push, Wiz took Glasner. Avirup, good luck, mate. Juggernaut says you yourself took a hit. Yes, but I didn't have a player who's going to score 2 points, mate. I've got Gakpo who's going to score 0 points. And then I've got Joao Pedro who's possibly going to score 1 point because he's not going to start the game. If I had Gakpo who's going to start the game, or even Joao Pedro I knew was going to start the game, I would not have taken a hit, mate. In your case, Enzo Fernandez is going to start. That's the difference. Do you think having Mbeumo and Wissa is okay until 29? I want to keep Gakpo, but I have a feeling they might rest him for the PSG games. Well, I had the same feeling, which is why I transferred him out, but having Mbeumo and Wissa until 29 is perfectly fine in my opinion, mate. I think they've got a decent set of games, especially even in 29 they've got an okayish game. So you can definitely keep Mbeumo and Wissa till 29. With Gakpo, I have the same feeling because of the PSG game. I feel even if he's fit again, they might rotate him or rest him. Chugs, I hope you understand my logic for a hit. Otherwise, I wouldn't have taken it. Guys, we missed the Smelly Wab timer reminder, guys. He says time to lock your teams. And that was when 10 minutes were left and now 5 minutes are left. So please, guys, lock your teams. I would not answer too many questions. Captain Mbeumo over Salah if you own. Giovan, if you're fine with captaining Mbeumo and, watching the rest of the game week after watching Mbeumo score in the first game week, I think it is alright to captain him, yes. I just don't feel comfortable captaining a player in the first game of the game week, especially when I've been unsure of their performances, that's the thing. It's just, they've been erratic. So, they've been winning the away games and they've been losing the home games, but the games were against tough opponents. You can captain Mbeumo, Gio, and to be honest with you, I'm not saying it's a bad option. I personally, I'm much more of a safe manager. You don't know how much I've struggled to take this hit which I've taken tonight. I had to fight against myself in my mind. I'm gonna captain Salah personally. I just feel that Salah is the better captaincy option for me. I've got a bit of a differentials in my team as well, guys. If you see, Trossard is 3.7% owned. Wiss obviously is no longer a differential. Everybody kind of jumped on him. 13.2%, still not bad. I mean, with Visa as well. So got a bit of a differentials here. Pickford 18%. These are the players who actually gonna make me stand out, especially Trossard. So this is gonna be my team for the game week, guys. I mean, nothing to rave about, but at least I've got a decent looking-ish team now, because after the hit I've taken out Gakpo. Otherwise I would have to field Mikalenko or somebody else. I'm just not feeling comfortable. And now Visa plays in 29, so I've got another player for 29 as well. So essentially it's the hit is already covered. 2 points this game week, 2 points in game week 29. The 4 points for Gakpo already covered. What tempted you to have Trossard, Viz? The only reason is I know he's gonna play Jugs, and because Arsenal don't have a striker, Arsenal don't have many attacking players, I knew he's gonna play most of the games. And when Trossard plays, I feel he's good enough and worthy of scoring at least a goal or an assist every game he plays. Especially looking at Arsenal's fixtures now. Not the next one of course, but when I took him, their fixture was against Leicester and their fixture was against West Ham United. Nottingham Forest, Manchester United, Chelsea, they're very tough games. I agree with that. But as an Arsenal attacker, you never know who takes the penalties. Provided Odegaard is not on the field. I just felt that there is a possibility with like 6, 7, 8 pointers with Trossard, mate. Obviously, if after the Leicester game I had to take a player, I would possibly take Nwaneri over Trossard. But now I've gone with Trossard. It's gonna have to stick with him. And it was a good start for me as well, because Trossard gave me 6 points. Even though he did not do too well in the game, he got that assist for the Merino goal, and that's all I'm hoping for from him. Not hoping for anything more. Manchester United is not tough anymore. Well, you never know. Against Arsenal, they always find their A game somehow. And they always find a way to trouble us. Although recently it's not been that way, but I've not got a short-term memory, mate. I've been watching Manchester United ever since. Gone with Glasner, I don't know why. So everybody bringing in this assistant managership is horrible. Well, it's horrible. It's horrible. On the other hand, if everybody plays at the same time, I don't think it makes much of a difference, mate. Although it gave me 36 points. In the first 2 game weeks, I feel that this game week is going to be a bit tough for the assistant managership, and just had to take a chance, mate. That's all. I don't know. This ship should be scrapped next season. I agree with that. It's a game within a game. And unless you're a fan of all these kind of things, I just don't feel that it's worth it, guys. I honestly don't feel it's worth it. It's a game within a game, and and then you got to transfer managers, and then you got to plan for this table bonus and all that stuff. It's just too much, in my opinion. I don't think that FPL complicated. The more complicated you make the game, the more decisions you give people to make. It's just takes away the beauty of the simplicity of what FPL really is. So that's just my opinion, but you never know. The FPL towers, I don't know why they introduced this chip, and I don't know why they will scrape it next season. You just don't know what they're gonna do up there, guys. And yeah. So it's deadline, guys. It was a much more busy stream as compared to what I hoped it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a very easy laid back stream. Everybody's just talking about why we need to bring in Glasner, but the questions about Kirkash or Hall or Robinson, I mean, had to kind of strain my mind a lot to kind of give a satisfactory answer, because I did not have have a good answer for this question. FPL Sam says, I like the idea of the mystery chip every season though, but not this assistant manager chip. Well, the mystery chips are going to be horrible, mate. You know, they can be even more horrible than this one. You know, the only thing which I like is maybe as a mystery chip they should give is the ability to double assistant double the vice captain points along with the captaincy points for one game week, you know. So that would be something which is like kind of, you know, kind of different. So it would be like captaining two players at the same time. So your vice captain points double as well, and your captain points double as well. So I mean something of that sort, which doesn't like break the game or something like that. You know, it should be simple. It should not be a game in which you transfer the managers, you plan the game. You know, it was like a mini game within a game. Abbas says, risked it all on McKenna and Mbumo. I hope I don't quit FPL after this game week. I hope you don't quit, mate. I hope you keep making the streams. And although it was, I mean, McKenna is all right. I know why you wanted to go for McKenna. I know they kind of drew against Manchester, against Aston Villa in game week 25. So you might wanted to take a chance against Tottenham. I thought about McKenna as well, but you know, just didn't have the instinct to kind of go for him. But they forgot to hit deadline. It's still working, huh? Wow, I love this game. Benched Virgil van Dijk for Castagna. Yes, well, Nehal, that's fine. Well, transfers are working, huh? So if we make the transfers now, you're right, guys. Right. But what does it count for? Do we have team news? No, right? We're still half an hour away, so what's the point? No point. Hamsters are on overtime. The poor hamsters don't even make it properly in their own time, Smelly Web. So overtime, man, is animal cruelty. The ethical committee needs to come in right now, save these hamsters. I mean, potentially, I don't think it changes anything, by the way, even if they forgot to change, close the deadline. Because of the fact that the team news is always late and, bro, they don't work when they need to. That is absolutely true, mate. Every time you are in for a tricky situation, the hamsters kind of, you know, they just falter. They absolutely falter. Someone on the IT desk have a code broken. Yep. Absolutely they do. But it just doesn't work when you need it to. That's the problem, you know. When the overload is on the servers, that's the time they crack. Right now they're just jogging. They're just kind of, you know, cooling off, the hamsters, you know. So they're just like, yeah, we're gonna chill, we're gonna walk around a little, we're not gonna run. The servers, keep the servers still working. So hopefully next week, a 2.1 I've got in the bank, and I'm gonna get 0.8 more from Glasner, 2.9 in the bank. I'll have lots of money to replace this, kick this Joao Pedro out of my team. Man, it was horrible bringing him in. Ever since I brought him in, he's done next to nothing. The only game he scored in, I guess it was against Arsenal, and I think I brought him in after the Arsenal game. I should name him Joao Pedro 1-pointer. That's all he ever gets. 1-pointers. Joao Pedro 1-pointer. You know. That's all we should call him. God damn it, what a bad transfer I made. Well, anyways, guys, I think I'm just gonna hit the basket. I've just managed to get through the stream without slurring my voice, but I'm already feeling really, really sleepy. I don't even think that I'm gonna be able to stay awake and watch my new transfer perform against Leicester. So I'm just gonna have to hope that he does well. But I'm gonna have to take your leave, guys, and gonna have to catch you next week for the deadline. I think next week we do have a similar deadline. Yeah, it's on 11. I mean, it's again a night deadline for me, and that's gonna be on the 25th of Feb. That is Tuesday. And that's gonna be a full set of fixtures, not just a single fixture like on the Friday. And beyond that as well, we have we're gonna be back to the Saturday deadlines on in Game Week 28. And the first game against Nottingham Forest against Manchester City, and hopefully we're gonna get some information about Haaland and Marmoush, and that's gonna be the time when everybody's gonna be looking to bring in Manchester City players as well. So we'll come to that when we get there, guys. But the website is still working though. It's insane. It doesn't work when we need it to, yeah, it's still working, guys. It's insane. So if anybody wants to, if kind of missed the deadline, it's all right, guys. See, we didn't have anybody on the stream saying, "Oh, I missed the deadline today. I was so busy, kind of making decisions, so I missed the deadline." So we can be cool and say, "Yeah, it's all right. You can go ahead and make your transfers. Still gonna work." We got the hamsters, well fed and ready to run for like 10 more minutes. Anyways, guys, I think it's so I'm gonna take your leave, and I'm gonna catch you for the deadline, which is not too far off. It's like in 4 days again, and so I'll catch you for the deadline. Till then, take care. I hope you have a great game week 26, and I hope your transfers work out for you, and especially the last week of the assistant manager chip, and after that we're gonna be back to standard FPL. So on that note, FPL Wizard signing out. Take care, everybody. I'll see you for the next game week's deadline. Till then, have a great game week. May the arrows be green. Ciao. Bye-bye.